Hello, folks. Sorry about that. The camera didn't rotate. But this is Gio live from the 2021 SSA Men's 16-inch Glove National Championship Tournament out in Carroll Stream, Illinois. Leadoff man for the future team, Johnny Capuccietti. I butchered that name right out of the gate, folks. So he flies out for the first out of the ball game. We're here in the top of the first. My partner, George Bliss, was using the GoPro earlier. Battery life, not what we were hoping for, so I'm back with the regular phone. I will be able to see your comments. For those of you checking us out from around the country, this is Chicago 16-inch style softball, except we're using a glove. So here's the second place hitter, Sean Rostico, and he flies out for the second out. 2 up, 2 down for Future. Of course, Future won the SSA Class B National Championship out in Melrose Park earlier this summer, playing F-Town from Iowa. So again, we got 60-foot bases, 38 from home plate to the pitcher's rubber. You can lead off, you can't steal. 6-12 on the arc. Pitcher gets 2 fakes or hesitations. A fake to a base or a throw to a base is considered a fake or hesitation. And here's the third base place hitter, Jake Vallis, and he flies out 1, 2, 3. So at the end of a half an inning, no score, F-Town coming to bat.
Hey, win a game. Let's go. Do this part.
And the rules are pretty much the same. We got 300-foot fences. Anything that bounces over, through, or under is going to be a ground rule triple. Obviously, if you're man enough to hit it 300 feet and clear the fence on the fly, it'll be a dinger. See Isaiah Dixon checking us out. So it's been a great tournament so far. We've had a couple extra inning games. We've been putting the box scores up on the Game Changer and on our Facebook page. We'll have all the box scores from tonight's games up later tonight. And we posted the Game Changer page at the top of our Facebook page. So anytime you want to click on the scoreboard and see the results, you can. Of course, the live stream sponsored by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Okay, we got the preliminaries out of the way. Here's Jalen Smith, then Jared Kleinfelter, and then Caleb Kesterson. So here we go, bottom of the first, no score between the Future and F-Town from Iowa. I'm kind of glad we're playing at night because I got a feeling these neon green jerseys are going to be a little painful in bright sunshine. So it's good to be back on the air. We couldn't get on yesterday. The only other guy that knows how to do Game Changer was not here last night, nor today. So it hampered a little bit of our live streaming, but he'll be here tomorrow, and we should have more games for you. And there's a little flare, and that's going to be caught. So far we've had 4 hitters and 4 flyouts in the ball game. And it's going to bring up Jared Kleinfelter.
Let's go, Rock.
First time we've seen F-Town this year, so don't really know what to expect. Not quite sure what the delay here is. It's a routine flyout. So again, if you're just checking us out and you checked out some of our streams, we were trying to encourage people to check out the glove version of the game because we've been showing you the no glove version all summer. So here's Jared Kleinfelter. Nobody on, 1 out here, bottom of the first in a scoreless ball game. And there's a little flare, and that's going to drop. First hit of the ball game. Nice little job. Just flipped it between first and second.
Hey, stay big, kids. Stay big. 7-1.
And that's kind of a tough play. I think in tournament play, when you're playing teams you haven't seen, sometimes it's hard to know exactly how you want to defend them. Now, Future's got a lot of younger people and a lot of hardball guys. There's really no reason to hold a guy on. If anything, what it does is it gives you a bigger hole. And you see he's not being very aggressive jumping off of that bag. And there's another fly ball. So we got 5 outs in the ball game that have been fly outs so far. So I would not have my first baseman hold a guy. I don't think you gain a lot from that. And like I say, you can see the second baseman is out here on an island. So you're giving up 2 monster holes on your infield. Brings up the cleanup hitter as Caleb flied out. Here's Austin Colson. Again, 2 outs. Kleinfelter will be flying on the swing. And you can see he's being very aggressive on his secondary. And you got to be careful. That's why I harp on you got to let your hitter know, or your runner know, you're not swinging. And there you see Austin lifted his hands up. And he took a handoff. So as a runner, you know, and there's a rocket, but right at the second baseman. So at the end of 1, no score. So the 1-out single doesn't get moved as Colson hits a bullet, but right at the second baseman. And as we go to the top of the second, Anthony Villaparos, Ryan Rogers, and Bobby Secanelli. Boy, I can't pronounce it. Sorry, folks. Been a long day. If you're a Future fan, I apologize. So we're going to head to the top of the second. It was very warm and humid today, but it's cooled off nicely.
Hey, be hungry, defense. Be hungry.
It's going to be hot and humid over the weekend. I may try to do a couple of early games, and we'll see how the weather is midday. But we'll certainly show you some of the winter bracket games late afternoon. We had a real good crowd out here today on a Friday night. And again, big complex, so it's hard to tell. So there's a strike. So Future's still looking for their first hit. And there's another fly ball, and that's trouble. Left fielder started back, couldn't recover, shortstop, and now so it was a little flare. Shortstop laid out and was on the ground. The ball hit. The left fielder wasn't going to get there. He laid up, so he didn't step on the shortstop. And the shortstop tried to throw it in from his stomach, and it was a little roller. Good heads-up base running there by Anthony Villaparos, but that's why you don't shut it down when you get a hit. You run hard and you keep your body active. So here's Ryan Rogers now. First hit of the ball game, bloop double. And that pitch is high. Well, James, if you look at the post at the top of our page, there's a ground ball right to the pitcher, no advance. I think Anthony Villaparos could have got to third. The pitcher never looked back at him, but he froze on the ground ball and didn't go. James, if you look at the top of our Facebook page, I have a link to Game Changer, and if that game is done, you can look at the score. If it's in progress, you can see what the score is. And there's a swing there, and that's a humpback base hit. That's going to score the first run of the ball game, 1-0. So Bobby Secanelli comes through with a 1-out hit to score the first run of the ball game. And we saw this Future team. They got a lot of hardball players, young kids transitioning over. And here you can see Anthony Stacy from Thunder been hanging out with these younger kids. Ground ball up the middle. 2nd for 1. The relay not in time. So they get the fielder's choice as Zach Cavaro hits into a fielder's choice. Here comes Zach Vallis. And again, 2 outs now, so that long stretch single may score a run. Takes that pitch a little high and deep. 1-0 future here, top of the first, or second, excuse me. Big lead here. Takes a strike there.
Yeah.
Took that deep, so a 2-out walk will put runners at first and second for Brad Moriarty. Of course, Brad been around a long time. And he slaps it on the ground. Pitcher knocks it down plenty of time for the 3rd out. But in the inning, they scratch. They take a 1-0 lead. F-Town coming to bat now, trailing.
That little duck isn't going to do it. Come on.
Excuse me. So if you're not doing anything, come on out. We got a lot of stuff going on. And if you want to watch a few games, and if it gets to be too warm for you, come to the table, the SSA table, the Village Tavern and Grill off of Schmally, a few miles from here, a couple of miles. Gave us 10% off coupons. So come to the table. We'll give you a coupon if you need to get out of the sun and want to go get a bite to eat. Great food. And one of our sponsors. And we'll get to some of the other sponsors. So here's Chris Bartles and Jacob Havel-Pisarczyk, and then Willie George for F-Town. There's a ground ball up the middle. Shortstop, a little bobble, can't recover and throws it in the dugout. So that'll put the leadoff man on second. Shortstop came flying in on it, bobbled it.
Yeah.
So leadoff man on, and it brings up Jacob Havel-Pisarczyk. So the tying run at second base here. And again, that's a point of emphasis. We try to keep the players off the field.
Let's go 2-3.
And we saw the shortstop, and there's a little flare. Tell you, just a ton of flyouts. They throw behind. Runner does get back, a little closer than a manager would like, but he got back. But we saw the shortstop, Anthony Villaparos, at the B tournament without the glove. He played spectacularly. So sometimes you get used to playing without it, and then sometimes the glove actually ends up getting in the way. So 1 out now for Willie George. Tying run still at second. And he looks like he's taking this pitch all the way. He did. They must have been watching tape when, and there's a little spinner. That's going to roll foul. 2 strikes. Well, Lance, we have a no glove A. Our B stuff is no glove. Forest Park has the no glove major, which is generally acknowledged as the no glove major championship. And there's a line drive for the 3rd out or the 2nd out. That'll get the runner over to 3rd. And so even though the gloves are a little weird, it's just a different way of playing the game. So now the leadoff double got to 3rd, but with 2 outs. And I believe this is Brandon Smalley.
Pick me up, Small. Pick me up. Good luck.
Takes that pitch a little deep. So you can see some of the F-Town hitters are very stationary in the box. They're not really moving much. And there's a high fly ball. And so Future gets out of the leadoff double situation as they get the next 3 outs. And we'll head now to the top of the third, still 1-0 Future. So again, it's a tough game when you can't move in the box. No, Tom, just the infield. The outfield is natural grass. And we're always curious this time of the year when we play on grass fields in the outfield because, you know, it's been pretty hot all summer out here in Chicago, and outfields don't look particularly hard. We've been out here in years past where the outfield was extremely hard. Now, in a couple of weeks when we're up in Wheeling for the major national championship tournament, we will be on all turf fields, infield, outfield. I haven't walked out there. Sometimes you do get due, a little ground ball to second. So the leadoff man, Kyle Polinsky, grounds out. Here comes Joey Rogers. And then, of course, the top of the lineup with Johnny Capuchetti. I know, I keep saying the kid's name different. So I haven't walked out there to see if there's dew. Infield doesn't look like there's any dew on it, so it's probably a good sign. And there's a little roller back to the mound. That'll be out number 2. So both teams kind of feeling themselves out here a little bit. And we're back to the top of the Future lineup. This is a very nice, pretty park. There's a rocket hit into the gap. That's trouble. Nice sliding play by the right fielder, but he's going to try to go to third. He'll make it. Throw gets away. So it was a good job by the right fielder. Made a sliding attempt. Did keep the ball from getting past, or it would have been a home run. So it's just a triple. So with 2 outs now, here's Sean Roztako. So getting the third is big. It puts a little more pressure on your team to handle the ball. And he just humpbacks a missile. That's going to score run number 2. He just sat back and delivered a hard humpy over the infield. So Sean comes through with the 2-out hit, and here's Jake Vallis. Way inside there. Again, I think the challenge when you come in sometimes when you're Iowa, now they do play with the mitts out there. So I'm sure that they just had their state tournament maybe 2 weeks ago. So this is a lot different when we play with the gloves. There's no drag step. They have to stay in contact. And that ball, second base or short center can't make the play. And they do get it in, and they keep the runner from scoring from first. Good job by the center fielder there. He came flying in. And he made sure that the runner on first couldn't score. Now, this is at McCaslin Park in Carroll Stream. Technically, I guess it's West Chicago. But it's one of those weird deals like Mount Prospect, which the field is technically in Des Plaines. So here's the pitch. And there's a high fly ball Center fielder called it all the way for the third out. But in the inning, they scratch a second run to go up 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the third.
Let's go. Come on. Hard low, guys. Hard low. Come on.
So as I was saying, when a lot of the Iowa teams come in for the no glove at Forest Park or the various other tournaments that they attend, with the drag step, with the change in angles and depth, sometimes it takes them a little while to get going. Without the drag step, it's just like playing softball. Now, F-Town, this is their first appearance in the SSA Class A Glove National Championship tournament. And they did have to, a lot of them drove in today. So sometimes that's a little tough. So here's the leadoff man. I didn't catch his number. I believe it's Greg Pegum with Curtis Stacy and Matt Starasevich coming up the bottom third of the lineup. He grabs a 3-0 strike. And there's the dreaded leadoff man. Oh, he called it a strike. Looked like it might have hit the plate. Umpire said it just cleared. Again, we're a long way away here on the broadcast. So, and now he swings and he just hits a soft fly ball for the leadoff man. And that's going to bring up Curtis Stacy. So 2-0 here. Future, the Class B, SSA Class B national champions, leading F-Town. Home plate jumping around a little bit here on Brad Moriarty. I don't know, Thomas. You know, the battery life wasn't as good as we were hoping. And there's a line drive base hit. And now the ball gets away from the left fielder. He's going to end up on second. So with one out, little bobble by the left fielder. And again, another example of a runner who didn't shut it down after a hit. And he just kept himself active, was able to get to second. So Curtis Stacy with one out at second. And they're going to pinch run for him. Whoa, pinch runner didn't know he had to go to second. Jathan Smith.
Watch everything through. Come on, Curdy. Come on, Slick. Now, gotta talk.
So F-Town now, chance to crack the seal here. And there's a little tomahawk chop. Center fielder makes the catch. As Matt Starastevich flies out, and it brings up the leadoff man, Jalen Smith. So 2 outs here. Of course, in the B tournament, Brad Moriarty was fighting a couple of little injuries and had a little trouble in a couple of games throwing strikes. So I don't know if F-Town reviewed the film because they've been patient. They're taking a lot of pitches. So if you're F-Town, you're just looking to try to find a way to get on the board and hope that opens up your offense a little bit. And there's a line drive, and he comes through. 2-1 ball game. So Jalen Smith just guided the ball just over a leaping second baseman, and we got a 2-1 ball game. Brings up Jared Kleinfelter. So a lot of times you get that first run and it opens it up for you. So we'll see here. Kleinfelter, little slap, and that's going to drift foul. Last time up, he guided a single between first and second. And here you can see again, they got the first baseman. Second baseman now, he doesn't know what to do as they cut, but he flipped the ball over here. So the second baseman for future just really on an island by himself. He looks like the loneliest guy in the park right now. Kleinfelter, he goes that way again, and he drops another hit this way. And Jalen Smith just never stops running, and he scores. So Future fell asleep there. It was a little flare. The right fielder was not deep. He kind of lollipopped the throw in toward the pitcher's mound, and Jalen Smith just kept running and took advantage. We're all tied at 2. Brings up Caleb Kesterson. So a 2 spot here has tied the ball game between Future and F-Town. As the game heating up here a little bit. There's a hard ground ball. Moriarty knocks it down, makes the play. But in the inning, 2 runs for F-Town. They tied a game up.
Hey, grab rock. Let's go. Fight hard. Come on, D.
So, in a 2-2 ball game, we're going to head to the top of the 4th here, F-Town and Future.
Way to get us rolling, Curdy.
Well, I believe you, Isaiah, because I turned my head, and by the time I got the camera around, he was diving into first. Or into home, I should say. Well, and that's what you need. If you're putting a team together, find yourself a good pitcher, and then find yourself 3 jackrabbits that can go get it and hit a little bit, and you're off to a good start. Because in 16-inch, I say all the time, when your infield makes a mistake, it's like getting cut with a razor. When your outfielders make a mistake, it's like getting shot with a gun. And there's a rocket up the middle. Nice play by the short center to get leather on it. But that isn't going to stop the leadoff man, Ryan Rogers, from getting on base. It's going to bring up Bobby. Another one of these last names that are tough to pronounce, so we'll leave it at Bobby. Hey, Jeff, how are you, bud? Looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks. And he tried to turn and burn, skies it to the right fielder, puts it away, tries to go behind the runner, not in time. Well, the problem is, you can have the greatest infield in the world, but if you don't got outfielders, it doesn't do you any good. So 1 out now. Brings up Jack Cavaro. And he flips a ball toward the gap. That's a hit. And he never stopped running. Hustle double for Cavaro. Leadoff man, Ryan Rogers, got the 3rd. And Future got a little something cooking here. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. It's going to bring up Zach Vallis, the center fielder. So this game suddenly the energy level is picked up, and these teams are going after each other now. Down to our last 2 games again. You can go onto our Facebook page, pinned to the top of the page, is our game changer. I would suggest that you save that link, and all weekend you can keep track of what's going on and where we're at in the tournament. And like I said, later tonight we'll have all the box scores online. There's a line drive, just a little too tall. Jalen Smith made a nice job. We were talking about the outfields. We didn't know how hard they are. That ball took a big bounce when it landed. Jalen, not the tallest guy, had to jump up, but he got some leather on it. But 2-run score, and we got a 4-2 ball game. His future answers with a 2 spot after the game was tied last half inning. So nice ball there by Zach Vallis, and brings up Brad Moriarty, the pitcher. And that's usually what happens. Sometimes a game will drift for a couple of innings. Teams feel each other out, and all of a sudden a couple of runs get scored and everybody wakes up. And Brad tries to go to that gap, and Jalen Smith gets it. 360 throw on the money to the shortstop, but they had no chance. And Brad is shaking his head. He thought that was a hit, but the young man, Jalen Smith, with a great jump, got there and made the catch.
Go one more.
And Brad is muttering to himself all the way back to the dugout. Brings up Kyle Polinsky, 3rd run of the inning, sitting at 3rd base now with 2 outs. And there's a hard ground ball, big bounce to the shortstop, and he makes the play. So nice job by the shortstop. Got it over. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Future jumps back ahead 4-2.
Let's go. Come on, Austin. Don't change anything.
So leading off, it's going to be Austin Coulson. He'll be followed by Chris Bartles, and then Jacob Havel Pisaric. Pisaric? So we heard earlier in the comments Isaiah Dixon saying that Jalen Smith can fly, and certainly that's been the case as he scored from first on a little pooch shot to right, which we don't see often. And he just tracked down what looked like it was going to be trouble in the right center field gap.
Come on, Austin, let's go. Hit hard. Nobody better, kid. Nobody better, kid. Right now. Let's do it.
So here's Austin Coulson.
Let me see it, 8. Let me see it, 8.
Going to try to regain a little momentum here.
Gotta be good. Let's go.
And don't worry, fans. I know that there's a small percentage of rain in the forecast. And there's a lead. Whoa, and that ball took a weird hop. Nice adjustment by the left fielder. I think somebody didn't replace a divot out there. So leadoff man on for F-Town. And Austin Coulson. And here comes Chris Bartles. So the game's certainly picking up. Well, it's interesting you bring up left-handed hitters, Tom. And there's a slash toward the other gap. Center fielder dove, can't make the catch. It's going to be 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Great effort by the center fielder. Was right on the fingertips. He hit the ground and the ball spit out of the mitt. Now you got 2nd and 3rd, nobody out for Willie George with Brandon Smalley on deck.
Bart, nobody.
So there's 2 ways you can play it if you're F-Town. You can tell your hitter to try to get a hit but elevate. Try to roll up a big number. Or you could just pound a couple of ground balls to the left or the right of the second baseman. And he hits a line drive just past the short center. 1-run scores, 4-3. And I got to tell you, F-Town, it's the second time they kind of lobbed a throw in from the outfield. Now, the runner at 3rd, Chris Bartles, wasn't running very hard. But we saw it cost him already one time when this guy scored. First and third, still nobody out. 4-3 ball game. Little between the back pickoff attempt. Here's Willie George now. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at first. Nobody out here. Bottom of the fourth in a 4-3 ball game. So getting back to you, Tom. Lefties are interesting. A lot of them like to slash the other way. High fly ball. That should tie the game at 4. Runner at first cannot advance. 4-4 ball game. So sac fly there by Willie George. Still only one out, and here's Brandon Smalley. But then you look at a team like Flashback, which is loaded with lefties, but they're different kind of left-handed hitters. They're primarily power hitters, guys like Dispenza, Simkowski, Lawler, both Lawlers, Tony Lepore, so their lefties are a little different because they hit the ball all over. And there's a little awkward swing. So one out here. Brandon Smalley trying to keep it alive. We're all knotted. 4-4 in the 4. Of course, we are live from McCaslin Park for the 2021 SSA Men's 16-inch Class A Glove National Championship. Folks, the biggest 16-inch national championship tournament in the country. And there's a hammer job. And base runner had to wait and make sure that it was caught, but he gets to second. So I tell you, F-Town is starting to barrel up pretty good in this ball game. It's Brandon Kelly, a hard cut. It brings up Greg Pegum.
Make sure it's through. Make sure it's through.
First and second here. Again, the live stream sponsored by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in River Oaks. And we'll get to a couple of the sponsors next half inning. Again, folks, please support the people that support 16-inch softball. And there's a little ground ball. He's going to go step on it, and that's all he's going to get. So it'll be first and second now with 2 outs, as the third baseman wasn't hit hard enough to get 2. So he made sure of the catch and stepped on third for the force. So here comes Jacob Havel Pisarek. And he just was trying to cut and just hits a soft pop. But in the inning, 2 runs, and we're all tied heading to the top of the 5th in a pretty good ball game.
Hey, keep it right here. Get back in here.
So a couple of our fine sponsors. For you folks out in Iowa, Chad Harrell and Accurate Concrete. If you need some concrete work, give them a buzz. Of course, Let Us Entertain You Restaurants, one of our longest running sponsors. Tito's, handmade vodka. Please drink responsibly. And if you're out at the park, you'll see the beautiful Gold Rush Gaming tents where our scorekeepers and our main tent are. If you're a bar or restaurant, you're looking to add slots to your establishment, go with Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Call Kelly Sorrentino at 630-307-0500 to get started. You can also email them at support@goldrushgaming.com. Please gamble responsibly. So here we go. Top of the 5th, all knotted up. 11th place hitter, Joey Rogers. The top of the lineup looming.
Good start, Nines. You bet, Slicky.
So we've got a lot of action going on in a 4-4 ball game. And there's a hard ground ball up the middle, short center pitch and catch.
First one's a big one.
leadoff man down. Here comes Johnny Capuchetti, second baseman. He's probably just glad to get in the dugout because they keep holding runners on at first, and he's all by himself at second. Probably just glad to see people. And there's a little slapper to third, long throw, not in time. So now a lot of people would say, oh, did he chop the ball? He did not. He took a full swing. He just hit it basically off the handle and hit a little roller. And, of course, flying down the line, no play. Third baseman made a nice play, but, well, Michael, 99% of what we do in Chicago is no glove. But this tournament and Labor Day weekend are the only two events the Slow Pitch Softball Association runs with gloves. Hard ground ball, nice play. Throw to first in time. Diving play by the short center. And then he got up and threw a strike to first.
Two of them here, let's go, get one.
And we got 2 outs now, I believe.
Good play, JP.
Brings up Jake Vallis, runner on second. That's the go-ahead run here in a 4-4 game in the top of the fifth. Big at-bat here. And we already saw earlier tonight 40 Deuce in the top of the seventh scored 2 to take a lead against Recon. And then Recon scored 2 in the line drive, but right at the second baseman. And then Recon came back in the bottom of the seventh to score 2 to win the ball game. So you can see F-Town is fired up. They got out of a little mini jam. And now F-Town has got an opportunity to maybe scratch ahead and take their first lead of the ball game.
Gotta feed the glove. Let's go. You got it.
It should be Curtis. Looks like a pinch hitter coming up. Mason Reed.
Have some fun, have some fun.
Is pinch hitting here for Curtis Stacy, I believe. Could be he's hitting for the pitcher. I know Jalen Smith is due up this inning. So I may have lost track here on my lineup card.
Good job, boys. It's for the pitcher.
Huh?
It's for the pitcher.
Okay, thank you. So he's hitting for Matt Starcevic. Must be a good Croatian name.
Very nice.
I know that because our UIC, Tonci Sirasevic, has a very similar ending to his name. So the pinch hitter, Mason Reed, with Jalen Smith and Jared Kleinfelter, and there's a little pop-up. Short center takes care of it. I tell you, this F-Town's got a lot of young-looking kids on this team. And here's Jalen Smith. I'm not picking sides. I'd like to see him get on base so I can see him run again. Very entertaining.
Pick me up, J-Boy. Jay, stay hot, kid. Stay hot.
The delegation in Ballbusters, the other game going on. And try to get you a score. Little chopper, fair ball over the bag, and he ain't stopping to throw to second, not in time. So the third baseman bent down, put the glove down. When he came up, he didn't have the ball. And a hustle double with 1 out puts the lead run at second. If they are in the right dugouts, I believe the Ballbusters leading 10-2 in the fourth. Here comes Kleinfelter. He hits a little ground ball, and now Smith will get into third. I tell you, Jalen Smith was in no man's land there. He was about He was about 40% on the way to third. Third baseman looked at him, decided he didn't want it to get into a rundown situation, and just took the second out. Brings up Caleb Kesterson. And he's going to try to put F-Town in front for the first time tonight. Yeah, I like this F-Town team's approach. They are taking pitches, so they're not just jumping at the first thing they see. And there's a line drive, and F-Town takes their first lead. Big turn, but he'll slam on the brakes. Big hit there by Kesterson as he puts F-Town ahead 5-4 for the first time tonight. Brings up Austin Colson. So F-Town trailed 2-0. They tied it at 2. They were trailing 4-2. They tied it at 4. And now they took their first lead at 5-4. As Iowa trying to complete the trifecta by going 3-0 tonight. That's why, folks. And there's a cut, snagged by the third baseman. But in the inning, F-Town takes their first lead. And if you're tuning in, tell your friends, we got our barn burner. So Colson makes the third out. But F-Town will go out top of the sixth, leading 5-4. We got a good one. Go ahead, feel free to tell your friends or share the link to the page, folks. And again, we'll be out here. What makes this tournament great is that we protect the A class. So we're not letting major players in. This kid's a major player. He can coach, but he can't play. And as a result, we get a lot of really good ball games that are really tight coming down to the wire. So if you're a softball fan, it's tremendous theater. People have been asking me all week in the lead up, who's my favorite? I don't think there is a favorite. So we got about 7 or 8 teams that I think are capable of winning, and some of teams like F-Town and Recon, teams that we don't see a lot, look pretty solid tonight. So the leadoff man trying to work a walk. No complaint there. And there's a little flare, and the short center takes care of it. So the shortstop, Anthony Villaporos, flies out to begin the inning, and here's Ryan Rogers. Made a comment during the B that he's wearing my old number, and that's an exclusive club. And there's a rocket and knocked down, long throw. That's not going to be in time. Good job by the first baseman to prevent the ball from bouncing up the screen. And you see the F-Town right fielder never moved. Kids, if you're in right field, you want to be coming in for that exact situation. If a guy bobbles it and he throws it and it's bouncing around the screen, second baseman didn't come over here either. So that's going to bring up Bobby. So Future now has a runner, and that ball is smoked right down the line. And Ryan Rogers gets to third, first and third. Brings up Jack Cavaro. Got a big hit when the game was tied earlier. So we got runners at the corners with one out. And there's a ball hit toward the gap. No one's going to get it. Tie ball game at 5. And the runner will get to third. Good read by the runner. So Cavaro, another hit in the ball game, ties the game at 5. Now we got first and third for Zach Vallis. So getting back to wearing number 21. Ryan Rogers, I think he flew out, and they said he's got to pick it up if he wants to wear the number, as a gag, of course. And then after that, he was on fire. So chance here now with one out, lead run at third in the top of the 6th. Zach Vallis in the box. Takes that ball a little deep. Again, we told you that F-Town's been patient, and so has Future. I think we have one walk in the ball game so far. So the pitcher's doing a good job of not giving free passes. And he grabs a strike there. So I believe there's one out, even though the count's full. And he takes the walk to load him up. Zach Vallis walks, and it brings up Brad Moriarty. And now it'll be interesting to see Brad's approach. He hit a ball into right center that he thought was going to be a base hit. But that guy, Jalen Smith, ran it down, so he's going to try somebody else. That ball's carrying, gets over to left fielder. Brad Moriarty clears the bases with a double. So he did change his approach. He did not want to go towards center. And I think that Brad, an older guy, I think the left fielder didn't realize he could still go on occasion. So a bases clearing double puts Future ahead 8-5. And now there's going to be a pinch hitter. Gino Grande is going to hit for Kyle Polinsky. So that ball didn't want to come down. We got 300-foot fences. That ball was hit maybe 245, 250, if that. But the left fielder was playing Brad the cut. And now they're going to use a different pinch hitter. I didn't get it has to be Joey Vandelves. Wow, that's a weird one. No offense to his family or him. So pinch hitter here. There's a ground ball, and he strokes it through the hole. Of course, Brad, and there's a mistake there. Again, I think as outfielders, you got to know who's running. Brad wasn't going to score on that. He just went to second. And that allowed the pinch hitter, Joey, to scamper into second. That ball's got to come hard. We've seen both outfields kind of lob the ball in. And this is fast turf. If you can run it all, you don't want to be lollygagging the ball in because it's easy to get bases. And that's a sky-high pop-up. And the second baseman called it but can't glove it. But it is a foul ball. It's a foul ball. Pinch runner was trying to score on it. So Joey Rogers, trying to go the other way, mishit it. 8-5 here. Top of the 6th. Future reclaimed the lead. This is the biggest lead Future's had in the ball game. They were up by 2 on 2 occasions earlier. So Joey Rogers with the top of the lineup looming. And he smokes it on the ground. And now they got the runner in a rundown. And, he tagged him with the hand, not with the ball. Now they call him out.
Hey, 2 we got now. 2 we got. Let's get out of here.
But another run scores. It'll make it 9-5. As Brad Moriarty scored on the play. Runner on first now with 2 outs, I believe.
What do you do?
Joey Rogers drives in a run there. That'll be a fielder's choice. And here's the leadoff man, Johnny. So Future picking it up here. And there's a high fly ball, right fielder drifting and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. But in the inning, a big four spot. Big blow was the bases clearing double by Brad Moriarty, and we got a 9-5 game here as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning. And I believe it's Chris Bartles, Jacob Pavel Pisarcik, and Willie George coming up, unless we see a pinch hitter.
Get back. Lose it at your stick. Let's go. Let's go, JP. No, do better, kid.
Well, so it's been a pretty good ball game. Again, this Future, they got a lot of great-looking athletes, very strong players, very young team. I mean, they're all, right around 21 or so.
Let's go, Bart. Let's go, Bart. Let's go, all five. Let's go, Bart.
So Chris Bartles leading off.
Let's go, Bart.
Again, we are live from the 2021 SSA Class A Glove National Championship Tournament. We put a couple of links up for Game Changer and our live tournament bracket. And leadoff single here in the bottom of the sixth. So Chris Bartles leads off the inning, brings up Jacob. So again, the only game going on here in the complex right now. And we still got people here in the concourse and down the left field line going all the way out by the entrance. Must be some people looking to beat the traffic. We got other people up against the left field fence out there. And there's a high fly ball. Out number one, the tag. For the first out here in the bottom of the sixth. Brings up Willie George. So we did see during that B tournament that Future's got good motors for younger team. And there's a little ground ball back to Moriarty. They get the force and the double play. So at the end here of six, we got a 9-5 ball game. So the leadoff single didn't go anywhere.
Don't need a bagel here. Need a bagel right here. Keep it right here. We go get a ball game. Come on, Green.
So we'll see what Future does here in the top of the seventh. Always a good idea to get a little insurance. And I believe Sean Rosatko is going to lead off. He'll be followed by Jake Vallis and then Anthony Valapouros.
No surprises, Della.
And there's a line drive. Third baseman got handcuffed, throws it across in time for the first out.
First one's a big one.
So that ball hit him right in the palm and spun out, but he held on to it, and he made the play.
Good start, Slinky. Good start, Nines.
And there's a ground ball up the middle, and that's going to be safe. Good wheels. So with one out, Jake Vallis, infield single. Thomas, I believe that's I think it's called the Wheaton Bible. It's a church. I'm not quite sure what the actual official title is. And there's a long drive that's way over the left fielder's head. That ball was crushed. And Villaporos flying around the bases, 2-run shot here in the top of the 7th. And he launched that. He got a flat pitch, and he didn't miss a stitch. So we got ourselves an 11-5 ball game as Future opening up here a little bit late in this ball game. Again, my take when you're playing a team with young guys is, and you don't know them, you want to pitch them high. And there's a ball off the shortstop's glove. And he's going to hustle into second with a double. So Ryan Rogers, I talked about wearing 21, and he delivers right after. So Future all of a sudden barreling up and really smoking the ball hard here. Here's Bobby. And there's a ground ball. That'll be an out. And again, that's a throw you really don't want to make. You're not going to get the guy. And you don't want to throw a ball away and end up with giving the team another run. So here's Jack Cafaro. He's gotten a few hits in the ball game already. And there's a little flip shot that's going to score the 12th run of the inning. And Future starting to really swing it. So my theory is when you play young teams, pitch the ball upstairs and see if they can cut. Assume that younger kids that look like they played hardball are going to smoke that flat pitch. And again, part of the challenge as a pitcher is you got to be able to throw strikes upstairs, and you got to be able to get enough depth behind the plate to where it's hard on these hitters. And that means not pitching down the middle. You got to pitch along the outside of the strike zone. Anything hits 6 inches to the right or the left of the point's going for a ride, especially flat. So if you're a young pitcher, that's what you want to work on. Draw yourself a mat, and there's a play, and they get him at first. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th, do or die, chasing 5, F-Town. So if you're a young pitcher, go get a piece of plastic, find out what the dimensions are of the behind the plate, and you got to work on working the outside and the deep part of the plate and the short one, because it's okay if you're working these big hitters and you throw them up high, you get them to move back in the box, and then if you throw that little dead fish that just crosses and lands short in the well, you'll get a lot of guys to roll over their top hand. So even though we're playing underhand, especially here in Chicago where so many of our guys got big walk-ups and move, you can still make it tough on them. And there's a long fly ball, and I believe he just stayed in play down there. Again, I believe that there is a chalk line down there like you can see over here. So umpire got right up against the screen there and had a good look at it. So leadoff man is down. And that brings up Brandon Smalley, I believe. So Future looking for a couple outs, and there's a soft fly ball. Left fielder puts it away. So that last couple innings, Future looks like they took a little heart out of this F-Town team. And Future down to their last out here.
Hey, let's go, 2-7.
Yep, easy, Curdy, let's go. Come on, Curdy. Nightmare, come on.
Carter here, let's go. Carter with 2, let's go. Not you, not you. That'll be you.
So now if you're Brad Moriarty, you just want to throw it, and that ball is going to be handled, and that's it. So you see Future, the SSA Class B national champions. That was the first tournament that Future got into. This is the second one, and they're not apparently afraid of the bright lights. How about that? So for SSA broadcast, this is Gio saying we'll be back tomorrow with more action for you during the day. Check us out on our Game Changer page. Live stream sponsored by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep, and we'll see you all soon.